Chosen one, this message reached you by design, not chance. This is divine timing. You didn't wander here. You were guided by a higher power, guided by a purpose greater than your past, greater than your present situation, greater than what you believe is achievable. You've sensed it, haven't you? The tug, the weight, the preparation. Deep inside, you've always known you were distinct. And now that inner conviction is aligning with visible outcomes. This isn't just about wealth. It's about purpose and mission. You're poised to be the first in your lineage to embody true kingdom prosperity, not just to amass riches, but to bear responsibility, to shatter cycles, to uplift nations, to forge legacies. This is your millionaire mantle moment, and it brings more than just wealth. It brings spiritual authority, generational restoration, and divine purpose. Let's break it down. 7 chapters of insight, affirmation, and calling. Before we dive in, ensure you like, share, and subscribe, because this isn't mere content. This is a divine financial awakening for the chosen. If your spirit resonates with this frequency, type 77 in the comments now. That number isn't arbitrary. It's a sacred symbol, a prophetic sign to the divine that you're aligned, attentive, and ready to embrace not just wealth, but the mantle it carries. This isn't just about money, it's about mission. Not everyone will reach the end. Only those spiritually mature enough to wield divine prosperity with purpose. Those who stay through this message will unlock affirmation, guidance, and supernatural strategies to transform your lineage. And know this isn't something you hear once and forget. This is a living word, rich with layers, revelations, and divine guidance that will unfold each time you revisit. So listen closely, because each replay reveals what your spirit might have missed before. You're not just being prepared to be your family's first millionaire. You're being equipped to carry the mantle that wealth was meant to serve. Let's begin. Chapter 1. You were born with the blueprint. Chosen one. Let's be clear. You were never ordinary. Even if life labeled you average, even if your environment screamed struggle, even if you grew up seeing people fight to survive rather than thrive, there was something unique in you, something divine. No matter how the world tried to suppress it, that seed never faded. It awaited divine timing. You didn't enter this world empty-handed. You arrived with a divine blueprint etched in your spirit, an unseen map crafted by heaven itself, a sacred design, a calling that took time to grasp but couldn't be erased. This blueprint wasn't given to all because not all could bear it. It was given to you because you were chosen. You saw money mishandled. You witnessed those around you abuse it, idolize it, or fear it. You saw homes fractured by lack. You heard disputes sparked by unpaid bills. You saw people trapped in toxic cycles, believing they had no choice. Yet deep down you knew there was another path. You questioned what others accepted. You dreamed quietly. You envisioned freedom while others spoke defeat. Because God planted wealth in your spirit before it appeared in your bank account. And hear this, your desire for wealth wasn't rooted in greed. It was rooted in purpose. Because money in the chosen's hands is a tool for the kingdom. You never wanted to just succeed. You wanted to make impact. Shift atmospheres, create opportunities, fund visions, break generational curses, and build generational blessings. You weren't born to live in a house. You were born to shape communities. You weren't born to receive a paycheck. You were born to write them for those who've never known freedom. You weren't born to escape poverty. You were born to expose and end it in the lineage that tried to bind you. The reason money didn't stay in past seasons wasn't a curse. It was a calling. You were in mantle training, not money chasing. God had to shape your character before releasing the currency. He had to teach you stewardship before granting scale. Because you don't just carry a vision, you carry a divine framework. What others build for recognition, you build from assignment. What others chase from pride, you carry with humility. You were born with the blueprint. But now the blueprint has met the builder, and the builder in you is extraordinary. You carry ancient wisdom, modern strategy, and divine authority. You can enter a room and shift the atmosphere without speaking. That's not charisma. That's the mantle emerging. Everything unclear in your childhood, every financial hardship, every job you despised, every door that closed was shaping your understanding of how not to handle wealth. So when it arrives, you'll treat it as sacred. Now the divine declares, I can trust you. I can trust you with wealth because you've been faithful without it. I can trust you with millions because you've given from scraps. I can trust you with the mantle because you didn't trade your soul for shortcuts. Chapter 2. God allowed losses to teach you stewardship. Chosen one. Before the rise came the emptiness. Before abundance came scarcity. Before reward came refinement. God let you face seasons of lack. Not because he overlooked you, but because he was molding you. This was never punishment. It was preparation. It was financial struggle turned into financial wisdom. You've known what it's like to have only faith, to see red in your bank account, yet believe for green pastures, to face unpaid bills while clinging to promises, to watch others succeed easily while you scraped, sacrificed, and stretched every dollar. But here's the divine truth. God wasn't just watching. He was teaching. Every delay, every closed door, every overdraft was a lesson. You were in mantle training school. He was stripping away scarcity mindsets and instilling kingdom stewardship principles. Because chosen ones don't just receive wealth, they embody responsibility. God let you see money mishandled, so when it's in your hands, you'll treat it with honor. You had to learn that money without management is fleeting. You had to lose temporary comfort to gain lasting character. You had to realize wealth doesn't change you. It reveals who you've become. And look at you now. You understand value. You no longer seek money for validation. You seek it for vision. You no longer see giving as a burden. You see it as strategy. You've learned to sow with intention, save with wisdom, spend with discernment, and invest with legacy in mind. You don't just want riches. You want relevance in purpose. You're not chasing a lavish life. You're chasing a fruitful one, a life that funds missions, blesses the overlooked, and equips your children and their children for destiny, debt-free. That's why God had to refine you first. He had to remove pride, entitlement, impulsiveness, and insecurity. Those can't join you in millionaire status. They'd sabotage your future, so he lovingly let you fail small to win big later. You were being trained to recognize what matters, to manage provision with precision. And heaven recorded your responses. God saw you give when you had little. He saw you help others while needing help. He noted when you denied your flesh to align with his voice. And now you're ready not just to receive, but to retain. Not just to gain, but to apply lessons from lack to the platform of abundance. You're qualified now, not by degrees or connections, but by faithfulness over little. Now God is ready to make you ruler over much. You won't waste what's coming. You'll work it. You'll multiply it. You'll steward it. Because what's coming to your hands is sacred. Not just for you, but for the mantle you carry. The world sees millionaires. Heaven sees more in you. A kingdom steward, a wealth manager for the divine, a chosen vessel who knows money is a tool, but the mantle is the mission. And having passed the test of loss, God is releasing the lesson of abundance. Chapter 3. The mantle makes you formidable. Chosen one, let's clarify. It's not the money that makes you formidable. It's the mantle. It's the weight of heaven on your life. It's the authority you carry when you enter a room and the atmosphere shifts. Not because of your wealth, but because of your assignment. The enemy doesn't fear millionaires. He's seen many, some bought, some broken. But a millionaire with a mantle, a consecrated soul aligned with God's voice, equipped with wealth and wisdom, that's different. That's divine. That's why you faced attacks so long. Your finances were targeted because your money has a mission. Your identity was hit because your name carries weight in the spirit. Your relationships were attacked because wrong alliances could derail what God is building through you. You're not a threat because of what you own. You're a threat because of where you're headed. You're not a threat because of your platform. You're a threat because of your purpose. The enemy knew that once you recognized your identity, once you realized you weren't just gifted but mantled, every generational curse in your lineage would end. Because here's the truth. You don't just want wealth. You want heaven's blueprint. You want guidance. You want insight. You want innovation that elevates you and liberates others. You've been forged in trials, refined in silence, tested in private, and now the mantle God placed on you is about to make public impact. It's the mantle that carries authority. It's the mantle that grants strategies others can't grasp. It's the mantle that sees trends before they emerge. It's the mantle that draws favor to you. It's the mantle that unsettles darkness and activates angels. And let's be honest, the mantle is why you've never fit in. It's why you felt the weight of things others ignored. It's why your conscience is sharp, your dreams prophetic, your discernment keen, and your battles intense. Because when God places a mantle, he marks you for kingdom impact, not comfort. You're not being raised to be wealthy. You're being raised to be wise, holy, and powerful, to walk into boardrooms with boldness, to break chains lingering for generations, to speak truth that disrupts corrupt systems, to fund movements that free captives. Your money isn't for display. It's for strategic spiritual warfare. It will build havens. It will restore broken places. It will feed families, spread the gospel, activate vision, and replace corruption with justice. Your mantle threatens darkness because it carries God's plan. It's a mantle of multiplication, reconciliation, and restoration. And when your wealth and anointing align, darkness loses. Chapter 4. You're not just gaining wealth. You're rewriting history. Chosen one. This isn't just about a bank account. It's about a legacy. You're not just becoming your family's first millionaire. You're the first to do it God's way. This isn't hustling in shadows. It's not compromising values for profit. It's not trading your soul for a seat at a table God didn't set. It's not manipulating people, chasing vanity, or sacrificing peace for gain. This is kingdom elevation. This is the rise of the righteous. This is prosperity with purity, influence with integrity, and success with soul alignment. God is using you to rewrite a story repeated for generations. You're breaking cycles you didn't start but will end. Cycles of lack, financial fear, never enough, not knowing how, and watching dreams die under debt. You saw what mishandled money does. You saw stress destroy marriages. You saw dreams deferred. You saw people settle, shrink, and stop believing. But God raised you as a turning point. You are the divine interruption in your family's story. You're not just gaining wealth. You're rewriting the blueprint. You'll teach your children what you weren't taught. How to honor money without idolizing it. How to create wealth without losing their witness. How to build businesses that bless. How to invest. How to give. How to sow. How to grow. You'll fund their futures without guilt. You'll leave inheritances, not just instructions. And crucially, you'll pass down principles, not just possessions, because you now understand. True legacy isn't what you leave in their hands. It's what you plant in their hearts. You're breaking the curse of a poverty mindset that plagued your family. The mentality of we can't, we don't, we never will. It ends with your yes to God. You'll no longer watch from the sidelines while others build. You'll lead, building on rock, not sand, driven by vision, not fear. And here's the power. When you rise, you lift others. Your elevation signals to your lineage that new is possible. You'll prove a holy life isn't a broke life. You can love God, walk in purity, act with integrity, and still own land, build companies, and fund causes. God is using you to show what righteous prosperity looks like. You're evidence that wealth and holiness can align when God is the source. You're about to be your lineage's first millionaire, but not the last, because your mantle carries multiplication. What begins with you will flow like a river into your children, community, and calling. You'll raise a generation that doesn't just make money, they move mountains. You'll show what it means to live free financially, emotionally, spiritually. Others will follow your path, not just for what you built, but how you built it, with God as the architect. This isn't random. This isn't hype. This is prophecy unfolding. You are the first. You are the shift. You are the blessing. You are the blueprint. And your story is being rewritten in heaven to transform the earth. Chapter 5. This next level demands obedience, not opinions. Chosen one. Let this truth sink deep. Your next level isn't a group effort. You've been chosen, not consulted, not elected, not given a comfortable consensus, but called by God. That calling will often seem illogical to others. You'll make moves that defy their reasoning. You'll leave places where your spirit feels unfed. You'll say no to the familiar and yes to the impossible. And people will talk. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you're acting strange. They'll ask why you no longer justify your choices. But here's the truth, chosen one. You stopped explaining because they weren't assigned. They didn't receive your blueprint. They weren't given your burden. They weren't entrusted with your mantle. This next level isn't about being understood. It's about being obedient. And obedience doesn't always bring validation. It often isolates before it elevates. God will call you to build without a manual, walk without a crowd, move without human confirmation. Only a whisper from heaven, and that whisper must suffice. You can't take guidance from those not called to carry your mantle. You can't shrink your vision to fit their version. You can't filter your destiny through their disbelief. They don't see what you see because they weren't shown what you were shown. God will give you strategies that defy tradition. He'll place blueprints in your spirit that don't add up on paper. Ideas that stretch your faith. Assignments bigger than your bank account. Steps that seem risky to those playing it safe. But you've endured too much to doubt him now. You've survived storms meant to sink you. You've walked through fire and gained wisdom. You've trusted God when nothing made sense. and he never let you fall. This wealth isn't unlocked by opinions. It's unlocked by obedience, because favor follows faith, not fear. The faith that moves when God says move. The faith that builds with only his voice as the blueprint. The faith that seems foolish to man but is backed by heaven. Your anointing is tied to your yes, not their approval. You're not building for applause. You're not chasing platforms. You're not pleasing crowds. You're building by assignment. You're moving by mandate. You're obeying a voice above the noise. This next level requires sensitivity to God like never before. You'll need to mute distractions. Protect your peace. Walk away from good advice that contradicts God's voice, because one moment of obedience can open doors 10 years of hustle couldn't. God is preparing you for millionaire-level moves. But the door isn't opened by connections, credentials, or charisma. It's opened by obedience. Not to culture, trends, or fear, but to God alone. Chapter 6. Wealth is the tool. Impact is the goal. Chosen one, be clear. Money isn't the mission. It's the tool. It's the vehicle God uses to position you. You're not being blessed with wealth to live better. You're being equipped to improve others' lives. You're not chasing riches for attention or validation. You've endured too much for that. You know what it's like to go without, to struggle, to stretch, to survive. And now that God is positioning you to thrive, you know this isn't just about you. This is kingdom wealth. Wealth with instruction. Wealth with assignment. You're called to fund ministries, open doors shut for others, support leaders with vision but no resources, build what others only dream, and restore dignity in your family, community, and lineage. God isn't giving you this mantle to hoard. He's trusting you to sow. And because he knows you won't idolize the blessing, he can entrust you with more. This wealth comes with direction to create opportunities, free people from financial bondage, support what's righteous, not just trending, and build structures reflecting heaven's values. To become the lender, not the borrower. You've learned to survive without money. Now God is teaching you to lead with it, not with pride, but with purpose. That's why the warfare around your finances has been intense. The enemy knows money in your hands is dangerous to darkness because you won't waste it on distractions. You'll use it for deliverance. You won't flaunt for attention. You'll fund impact that lasts generations. You're not just another wealthy person. You're a kingdom builder, a chosen vessel, a financial weapon in God's hands. That's what makes this different. The mission isn't to be rich. It's to be trusted with riches, to assign wealth to what aligns with heaven, to turn resources into restoration, profit into purpose. God isn't just increasing your income. He's expanding your influence. You've passed tests of stewardship, humility, and endurance. Now you're ready to receive and release. Because when wealth flows through clean hands and a clear heart, impact multiplies. So walk boldly, chosen one. Use what God gives. Build what others only imagined. Give what you never had. Let your wealth speak of the one who gave it. Chapter 7. You're about to walk in what they said was impossible. Chosen one. They didn't see it. They couldn't. They mistook your quiet spirit for weakness. They saw your patience as passivity. They saw your pain but missed the power God was building beneath it. They said you were too spiritual to succeed, too gentle to lead, too humble to win in a loud world, too wounded to rise to anything significant. But they didn't know God's hand was on you the whole time. You weren't delayed. You were being developed. You weren't ignored. You were being initiated. You weren't stuck. You were being positioned. And now you're about to step into favor that defies logic. Doors will open that no one can shut. Opportunities will find you without you chasing them. Provision will overflow in ways that make people wonder how. But you know the answer. God. You're not entering this season by luck. You're entering by covenant, obedience, endurance, and divine timing. The wealth coming isn't just for comfort. It's confirmation. Confirmation that your tearful nights were seen. That your private obedience will be rewarded publicly. That the seeds you sowed in silence will bear visible fruit. And when it happens, you won't need to flaunt. You won't need to explain. You won't need to prove or post. Your peace will speak loudly. Your impact will be undeniable. Your discipline will stand for itself. Your prosperity will point to God. You're not just gaining money. You're gaining a mantle. You're stepping into responsibility, authority, and influence tailored for your calling. And it's bigger than you. This elevation is about what God will do through you. Break generational patterns, rebuild broken foundations, fund kingdom vision, show the world what a consecrated vessel with wealth and wisdom looks like. So hear this clearly. You're not waiting for the money anymore. The money was waiting for you, waiting for your maturity, waiting for your heart's alignment, waiting for your structure to be ready, waiting for your obedience to fully activate. Now it's here. Now it's time. So prepare your heart, because God doesn't bless chaos. Prepare your mind, because new levels need new thinking. Prepare your systems, because overflow must be managed. Prepare your soul, because what's coming will stretch you in the best way. This season isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving God right. And when you walk into what they said was impossible, you won't just rise. You'll redefine what's possible for all who see you.